Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Foreplay. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles.
Hi,
we are
guys.
your hosts, and we are super excited to be back.
Yeah,
we had a week off.
We took a week to prepare because we had an amazing event that we participated in over the weekend with Tony Robbins, his Wealth Mastery. We learned so much, which we always do, right? But our focus is we go to grow us so that we can help grow you or provide you with better information. So we are super excited to be here with you. Again, I am a former police detective, and you?
I am a former family wellness chiropractor.
And so we decided that we wanted to put our expertise together to be able to go out and do the investigations, to come up with the knowledge that we know will be the foreplay to your optimal wellness, okay? So we're kind of going to be taking this a little bit of a step further than we have in the past. And that's another reason why we took a week off, is because we were looking at Wellness Foreplay and see how we can make it even more exciting, how we can help you get in the mood even more, okay?
And we discovered something.
I know, we discovered so many things.
We discovered that we were really only hitting on 1/7 of the overall elements that go into life.
Yeah.
Health and your physical body are extremely important, which is why we were talking about it. It's what the origin of Wellness Foreplay is all about. But it's not the only thing. There's 6 other areas of life that we call it, because it's all about life, right? Why do you care about having a healthy body? Because of the life that you live. The healthier your body, the more fulfilling and the more you can contribute to this amazing life we're living. But there's other areas that we were missing, that we really weren't focusing on. So this Wealth Mastery class with Tony Robbins that Marcy and I just went through, we realized there's 6 other elements that have to do with your wellness that we're going to now start sharing. So you're going to get now 6 times more than we were talking about before.
Yeah, so awesome. I love that. It's on steroids. So episode number 24 is going to be all about wellness foreplay and the 7 areas of mastery. Okay, because just like Dondi was just saying, is we've only been focusing on one of those on this podcast, in these shows, on the live Facebook videos that we've been doing. And so we want to be able to be more well-rounded and provide you with more information for you to be able to draw from to be your optimal self.
Yes.
And again, though, we do want to remind you is that, first of all, don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Pick a couple things that really resonate with you and then take advantage of them, right? Jump into it, because information without action is just kind of a waste of time. So let's make sure that you're also getting into action. So a little disclaimer.
Yes, the information that we share with you is not intended to prevent, treat, cure, or mitigate any disease whatsoever. It is strictly meant to educate you on the status of your own life, give you some information that you can implement into your life to allow that part of your life to be at a higher level of fulfillment for you, and as a result, the rest of the world. So if you have any questions about anything we talk about on this podcast, ask your doctor if it's health related.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So the way we do this is that we have one topic, which today is wellness foreplay in the 7 areas of mastery. And we will come up with 4 questions each time to answer during this episode or during the episodes. So the questions for today are, why are there 7 areas of mastery and what are they? The second question is, what do these 7 areas have to do with wellness? And is one area more important than the others? The third question is, why is balancing the different areas so important? And question number 4, how is wellness foreplay going to assist you on your journey to mastery? So is everybody ready to get into these amazing questions and find out what the answers are? We hope so. We hope you're in the mood.
Yes.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Cool. All right. So
this.
let's move on to question number 1. Why are there 7 areas of mastery and what are they? Why are there? Why is there 7 different areas? I mean, it's like when it comes to wellness, I just thought it was that physical wellness thing that we've been talking about.
Right.
But why is
and
there
many
more?
Other people feel the same way, because we're talking about life. Yes, having a good, healthy physical body is extremely important, but it's not the only thing out there. It is extremely important. So we'll call it the foundation of the show, the foundation of what we're sharing information, and really the foundation of where we're going with this. But there's other elements too, and keeping them all in balance is really, really the goal and really the whole purpose of mastery. Because if you're talking about mastery, If you're familiar with the book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks about the necessity, or what does it take to be a master in anything? It's 10,000 hours of focused attention on something. If you're going to spend 10,000 hours on something, it might as well be your life. So let's teach you how to master your life by giving you all 7 elements so you can address them individually, but think about them and contemplate them individually, because the total of all 7 really represents the quality of life that you're living.
Yeah, I think it's so funny how people use pyramids in a lot of different things, right? That triangle.
It's the strongest geometric structure in the world.
That's a good reason why, right?
An equilateral triangle
Okay.
is the most powerful. And it's why structures like Epcot Center are made from little small triangles all put together.
Wow,
It's a very,
that
very
in
strong
itself
structure.
is powerful
The
for
Trinity.
this topic today. That is so, so powerful, because we're actually going to ask you to imagine that triangle
Yes.
where the base is the broadest, and then it gets more narrow and more narrow as it gets towards the top, to where then it's just a small portion of what the base was, okay? So when we're talking about the 7 different areas of mastery, we're going to talk about their importance from the bottom up, because you've got to make sure that you've got that foundation. What is the number one thing that is the most important, right? The foundation has got to be laid and secured as you're building upwards and adding into your optimal wellness.
Exactly.
So let's just run through really quickly the 7 different areas that go into you having mastery in your life, okay? So the first one is the physical body. So we didn't have it wrong. We didn't have it wrong when we were bringing you all of these topics about wellness and how we can help you optimize your own physical being, because that is actually the foundation of the 7 elements that we're going to be talking about. The second one is emotions and meaning. What you put behind something that
So
happens.
powerful.
It is. And then the third is your relationships, whether it is between spouses, whether it is you and your family unit with your children, or even your community around you, your friends, the people that you do
Your tribe.
business with. Yeah, the people that you associate with most. And then we've got time is the next one. So important. And then work, career, and your mission. What do you have passion around? Then we're going to talk some money. So finances is one of these too, but it's up there at the top, right? Up there at the top. And then celebrating and contribution. So the 7 different areas that go into mastering your wellness overall, because we're not just talking about wellness of your physical body, we're talking about your life wellness, your life well, okay?
Because you can be sick or well in any of those 7 categories.
Yeah, definitely. So again, they are your physical body, emotions and meaning, relationships, time, work, career, and mission, finances, celebrate, and contribution. So again, guys, we just got done with Wealth Mastery from Tony Robbins. So we definitely want to throw out kudos and appreciation to him and all of the work he has done over so many years in giving us the opportunity. And when I say us, I mean all of us, the opportunity to learn in different ways and to learn and grow and become more.
Yes.
And so we want you to know that a lot of the information that we're going to be bringing to you from here on out will come from a lot of his teachings and educations, because that's where we're really focused in growing ourselves. And so we want to help grow you at the same time. So I just wanted to give that little shout out to the man, Tony Robbins. Really great. Yeah, absolutely. So anything else you want to add into that question number 1? Why are there 7 areas of mastery, and what are they?
Other than just don't take them disproportionate, and don't minimize one and maximize the other. Because I'll give you some examples. If you go into a gym,
number 2.
Yes, I know. If you go into a gym and you see somebody in really, really good shape, but they walk out of the gym and they get on a bike to go home. So maybe their finances isn't where it needs to be. So it's all about balance. One thing disproportionate could actually cause it all to be out of balance. It's about putting the divided effort, putting the divided attention into all of them equally so that you have balance.
Oh my gosh. Do you know that what I was just thinking? And
No,
oh my gosh,
tell
I
me.
hope that doesn't mean my battery's almost dead. How is that happening? Well, I say this. Will you want to grab the charge cord fast?
Sure.
It's just right out there. Sorry,
Teamwork,
guys.
teamwork.
It's been plugged in, but evidently it wasn't plugged in all the way, right? And so I guess that's another thing that we've got to, add into the focus here is that if you don't make sure everything's taken care of, then things are going to fall through. But what I was going to say before he comes back, when he was talking about the gym and going to the gym and working really hard, and because we're talking about balancing the 7 different areas here, I was like, oh, you mean the people that go in, and I don't want to say the guys, but generally the guys that go in and they focus really hard on their upper body, their arms and their shoulders, and they forget leg day.
Oh, yeah.
Leg day. Yeah, skip leg day, and you're kind of out of balance. Well, guys, that's kind of what we're getting into here with the 7 areas of mastery and the importance of focusing on all of them appropriately in the balance that they need to be. We appreciate you guys so much putting up with us. Oh, my gosh. But, we're not perfect. None of us are. And if we pretend to be, then we're just going to let you down big time. So we want you to know, hey, we're flawed, and here we are.
I think that was a great opportunity you may be plugged in, but are you plugged into the power? Because she did have the cord. I went back and I investigated the scene. She had the power cord plugged into her computer, but the other end was not plugged into the wall.
Yeah.
So her battery was not charging. So being plugged in is great, but you got to be plugged into the power source.
Yes. That was good.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on to question
that was unscripted,
number
by the way. We didn't plan that out.
All right, question number 2 is, what do these 7 areas have to do with wellness?
Oh.
And is one more important than the other? Well, just off the top of my head is this, like, the 7 different areas are important because it's your life, right? And if you want to get the most out of it, live the most grand, optimal, just out of this world outstanding life, then you've got to be focusing on all 7 of the different areas, because that's, life is kind of full when you live it all the way.
But is there one in particular?
There is, actually. There is one that's in particular. Think about it. If you have all the money in the world, you can contribute, right? You can have a great career and mission. You can be doing a lot of things. You can maybe even buy people around you so you think you have good relationships. You can even have good friendships. You can have really good friendships. And you might have some really great emotions around that money and what you're doing, and you put great feelings and meanings on it. But what if you never go to the gym? You always eat fast food. You stay up late. You drink everything but water. Do you think that that's going to bring you the optimal life that you want? No, because you're actually avoiding what we would say is the most important, that foundation again, remember, area of your wellness. And that is the health side of it, your physical body. So we have to make sure that we've got plenty of information there and you're actually putting it into play. So think about what your last week looked like. Did you get up and move? Did you eat fresh fruits and vegetables? Did you drink lots of water? Did you make sure to get plenty of sleep and even take rest times during the day if you needed it? And did you think good things? Did you let only positivity into your mind and into your life last week? If you don't have your health, why do you need money? If you're sick, why do you want more time? How are you going to contribute if you can't even contribute to yourself? And what kind of emotions do you have about yourself when you feel like crap?
That was deep.
And so that's why one of these 7 areas really is more important than all of the others. And so, really focusing on taking care of yourself and making sure you're doing the right things for yourself and putting them as a priority in your calendar, in your daily life. It's important because if you don't do that, then it's going to be hard for you to have the right mind space, the energy, and even the emotion to be able to put into anything else that will bring you all of those other things.
And I wanted to focus on the importance of a foundation. What's the purpose of a foundation? Let's just talk about a building, whether it goes wide or whether it goes high, the first thing they build is the foundation. And the foundation has to be proportionate to the amount of stress or load that is put on that building or that structure. So when it comes, and it's really, the foundation isn't built for every day. It's built for when the challenge comes. When the challenge comes, that's when you actually see the benefit of the foundation or the shortcomings of the foundation. So when it comes to your physical body, if you're in good physical shape and you have a financial crisis, you're much better off getting through that and able to get through that than if you were out of shape. In any other thing, the foundation is the most important. So if any of those other 6 get out of balance, the stronger your foundation is, your physical body, the greater resolve you're going to have and the greater predictability that you'll get through it. You may take some lumps, you may get some bruises, you may get a blister and a scar here and there. But if your body, your physical body is in as good a shape as it can be at your stage of life, those other 6 things are going to be handled much, much easier. So it's all about the foundation, actually.
Yeah. So now you know what these 7 areas have to do with wellness and why taking care of your physical body is absolutely top priority. So that then you can focus on all of the other 6. Okay. So great answers to number 2. Love that. Okay. Now let's move on to question number 3. Why is balancing the 7 areas so important?
Because we're talking about your life.
And we're going to bring some good examples into this one here, right?
The more balance, it's all about balance, because if you're out of balance, you're under a load, you're under stress, it's chaotic. But the more balance you have, the clearer vision you have and where you're going, and the more fulfilling it's going to be. Balance is so, so important.
Well, and if you're out of balance, do you know what can happen? It can actually lead you to emergency situations, to where, your physical condition declines so that you have to go to the emergency room, right? Or how about this? I wrote down a bunch of different things. So focusing on only one and ignoring the others can create emergency, life and death situations, relationship stressors. How about divorce? Money worries, and so much more when you are not making sure that you're putting the appropriate balance into your life cycle with the 7 steps, the 7 areas of mastery.
Do you realize that if things were in balance, you would hear terms like hindsight is 20/20 a lot less often? In fact, it's only in current things that are out of balance do we truly understand the lesson. And hindsight is 20/20. If I would have just paid more attention to this area of my life and focusing on balance, I wouldn't be where I am now. And you can apply that to whatever fits in your life. The balance is the key to a happier future and a more predictable longevity in all things.
Yeah. Well, okay. So for me personally, I can think back, and maybe you can think back on times in your life that if you would have had a little bit more balance, that at this point in your life, you might be more fulfilled or happier or whatever it is that you wish you had. For me personally, back when I was in high school, I was the jock, right? I loved basketball, volleyball, track, everything. And so I was always all in with my athletics. And so back then, what that meant was that I made choices to where I wasn't very balanced. I mean, I slept with my basketball and volleyball guys. I mean, I was constantly practicing. I was always thinking about my physical fitness, not always what I ate, because I was a teenager, right? So I could get away with that kind of stuff. But what I didn't do is I didn't bring in other elements that would have me more fulfilled now. Like instead of, I didn't take classes that I should have taken. Choir. I wish I would have been in choir. The heck no, I was the jock. I wasn't going to be in choir, but I wish that I would have been more balanced back then, because guess what I love to do now and what I can't do anymore, or I don't do anymore? I love to sing. And I wish that I would have created that foundation by having a more balanced life back when I was a teenager, because now I'm 50. I play volleyball every once in a while, but not very much. It's generally to just play with the ball with our daughter as she's practicing. I don't spend time with sports anymore. And yet it was everything. I was so out of balance. I can think of different areas than even just that one in my life. And I'm sure that you can think of things, and maybe even things right now, that you're so super focused on one thing. And maybe you're killing it. Maybe that thing that you're focusing on, you are just like blowing it out of the water with the results that you're getting in that one thing. But everything else in your life is falling to shit. Because you're out of balance. You're not focusing on those 7 things. So you had mentioned Robin Williams even. Amazing man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, funny. Love his movies. But he's not here with us anymore.
No. Robin Williams grew up wanting to be known for things, wanting to be celebrated, wanting to make an impact. And if you think about it, if you think about Robin Williams and you ask 100 people, what are your thoughts about Robin Williams? If there's one thing that would be negative, it was how he ended his life and then he's not here. Mm-hmm. Everything else would be positive because he made so many people around the world laugh and feel better about themselves and be entertained. But it wasn't enough for him. He got the most prestigious awards you can imagine. He was internationally known. Everybody loved Robin Williams, except Robin Williams. And most people can't even fathom to have that level of love around the world and that level of contribution. Some of the roles that he played in movies were genius.
Yeah.
Whether he was making you laugh as a street performer in San Francisco, California, before he was ever known as Mork, or once he got on TV with Pam Dauber and Mork and Mindy became the #1 show on TV and won awards for that, and then went on to be nominated for Best Actor in many, many movies. Robin Williams was a literal performance genius, but his life was out of balance. None of that, and it was the other thing about emotions and meaning. The meaning that Robin Williams attached to those things that were positive, that all of us would literally die for, it didn't give him the fulfillment that he needed. And he lived a very miserable, depressed life. And yes, he had mental illness, but a lot of times mental illness, prolonged unfulfillment, can actually lead to and exaggerate mental illness. And so it's when we are taught, and to your point, when we are teenagers, it's the meaning that we lack. We don't really think about balance because we haven't had to. But as we get older and we go through our decades, Marcy just turned 50. I'll be 60 here in less. I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50, put it that way. And we have meanings at every other decade that we didn't have the one previous. And balance becomes more and more and more of a priority. And that's really what we want to focus on, is helping you truly understand what it is and pursue it so that whatever you're doing is more beneficial for you, more fulfilling for you, and as a result, more fulfilling for the people around you.
Yeah. And, and one more thing on Robin Williams too, is that he was so focused on what he was doing for everybody else. He was contributing on such great levels. Yes. I mean, the laughter opportunities that he provided in his lifetime prevented, I don't know how many cases of cancer, because laughter prevents cancer, guys. It really does. And he did that for so many others. But what he didn't focus on, what he didn't balance, was his own personal wellness, his physical body, his mind. That he was so focused on contribution. So getting out of balance, now you can see how getting out of balance can first lead to regrets, like I have. I wish that I could sing better. I wish I understood how to really, really blend in and to hold those notes properly. But I don't, and I'm still working on it. I'm learning it. I'm just doing it later in life. But for me, I can change it. I can make the choice now to change that and to be more balanced and do those things that I would like to do. Unfortunately for Robin, he doesn't have the opportunity to learn this information and to put it as a priority. But every single one of you do.
Yes.
Every single one of you have the opportunity right now to really learn more about these 7 different areas of mastery and choose to be balanced with them in your life. So anything else you'd like to add on question number 3?
It's just a kind of an emphasis on time. And you say, she was talking about the way she wants to be able to sing. There's still time. until there isn't.
Right.
And so time is the one thing we'll never get back. There's no do-overs as far as time. And so you may be thinking, well, it's too late for this. It's too late for that. Too late for fill in the blank. As long as you're breathing, watching this, whether it's live or on the replay, it's never too late, because it's the meaning that you attach to the statement and the intention that you put into it. If you want to do something, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, go do it. Just place a priority on it and focus on balance and fulfillment.
I love it. All right. So let's go ahead and move into question number 4 now. And that is, how is Wellness Foreplay going to assist you on your journey to mastery? And if you didn't know, that's what you're watching right now is Wellness Foreplay with Dondi and Marcy.
Or listening to on the podcast.
And you may be, yes, exactly, listening to us on the podcast as well. And so we've been brainstorming and we've just really felt right in bringing you more, in not just focusing on the one area. We want to help you with your balance. And so that's what we are going to be doing. We are going to be broadening the information that we're going to be bringing to you. We're going to be covering information in all 7 different areas. And, you know, it won't necessarily be equal in how we share it, right? Because remember how a triangle is? You want to share more information on the bottom foundation, right? So we'll still be bringing you more information on your physical wellness, but then we'll be bringing you also the information on emotions and meanings that you attach to things, and your relationships, how important they are. Then your time. What are you doing with your time? Why is it so important to make good choices with where you allocate it? And then your work, your career, and your mission in life. What is it that you're doing? And then finances and celebrate and contribution will be thrown in there as well, because they are very, very important. They just aren't the top priority, right? So we'll be bringing you information in all 7 areas according, to the importance in the triangle, but also as we're learning new things, we want to make sure that we pass it on to you because it's important. We want to do that.
That's right.
And then what else are we going to try to do along the way with these different topics? Bringing in other voices.
We are. We're going to bring in experts in certain fields that are going to be able to contribute to the topic more than we could, where we will necessarily, in that example, be an observer in the situation and learning from the people who have mastered that level or that element of the 7 areas of life mastery. So we're going to be bringing in special guests from time to time on these episodes with us to co-host, to give deeper and more detailed information on the area that we happen to be talking about on that episode. So pay attention, be on the lookout for future episodes with special guests.
Yeah. Woo. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us today for episode number 24. It's all about Wellness Foreplay and the 7 areas of mastery. So thank you so much for watching this or listening to it. Please do us a favor, share this out to at least one person.
Yeah.
Get them with their ears and their eyes on this information so that they too can be balanced in optimizing their mastery of their life. And then you can always follow us. We've got YouTube, Dondi and Marcy Nettles. You can go to dondiandmarcy.com, as you can see scrolling at the bottom of the stream if you're on Facebook Live, or dondiandmarcy.com is where you can go and you can give us show ideas. You can also ask questions about our biohacking regimen that we use every single day. That's how we're slowing down the aging process from the inside out. And then also just make sure that we know if there's any comments or anything that you'd like to know about, you can contact us at dondiandmarcy.com. Anything else you want to add in here?
No, thank you so much for being a loyal viewer, a loyal listener. We appreciate you so very much. And if this episode touches you, please share. And if any of our episodes touch you or you know somebody that can benefit from it, please share, because sharing is caring. And the more we can work together to make the world a happier, more healthier, and more contributory place, the better off we're all going to be. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. We'll see you next episode.
But I have a praise report first.
Yes.
Guys, I just want you to know, just like 2 hours before we did this episode, I got a phone call, and I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank God, because God always comes through when you put your trust in him. And we've been praying, right? If you haven't listened to episode 22 on BII, breast implant illness, please go and listen to that, or find it here on Facebook and watch it. And then you'll know a little bit more about what I'm talking about. But I had an original surgery date scheduled for August 4th. That was the soonest they could get me in. But we've been praying, and as a collective, we've been praying, because I know so many of you have also been praying for me. So thank you so very much. But we got a phone call just a couple hours before we did this episode from the doctor's office, and the surgery date has been moved up to May 20th. Can you believe that? From August 4th to May 20th. That is the power of faith, the power of prayer, and the power of the collective body coming together and praying. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So grateful. And we'll have more of this journey to bring to you as the days go on. So thank you. Love you guys so very much. Bye. Bye-bye.